Table, a podcast about all things Realm Royale. I'm your host, Lamonte Mole, and this is my co-host, Comp TV Lee.
My name's Jeff.
And we're just glad to be here tonight, and we want to welcome all of the guys from Sanguine Esports, the recently signed esport team to Realm Royale. We have Alittleraisin, we have Gentle Giant, we have Krippler, and then Aero TTV could not make it tonight. He's not feeling well. But we just want to thank you guys for coming on the show and for chatting with us a little bit about the latest news. So, yeah. Well, we'll just jump right into the discussion tonight. We want to hear some more about this esports team and what that means for you guys, as well as what that means for Realm Royale. And specifically, I think there was a lot of hype around this one because, it's you guys are notable streamers as well as notable players within the Realm Royale community. And so it was exciting to hear, hey, you guys were recently signed. I think Sanguine isn't like a huge esports organization, but they are known, and they have Paladins teams and Smite teams and other competitive other competitive esports teams in high-res games. So we want to hear some more about like what happened and how this whole thing got started and who contacted who and what the relationship is you guys have there. So feel free to jump in, any one of you guys, and we'll just kind of get started with it. So how'd this whole thing come about? Like, did they contact one of you guys first, and what happened?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So the owner, his name is Blaine. He actually had been in my stream before, just from, he plays high res games. So I'm assuming he just played Realm and looked for a streamer, and he found me one day a while ago. And I guess recently he just decided that he wanted to pick somebody up for Realm. So he just contacted me through Twitter and just kind of asked me what I thought. We kind of asked questions back and forth, like what it would mean, and decided it would be something that would be a really cool opportunity for me. And then I ended up asking him if I could bring people on with me. So, and he's gave me the go ahead, and so I brought the boys with me. So
nice, man. So did you recommend people? Were you like, hey, you should check out these guys, or how did that whole conversation go?
No, he literally just let me choose who I wanted, basically. So
why didn't you choose me?
He's like,
We're the B team.
You were next on the list.
Oh, thanks, dude. Oh, thanks, dude. Thanks, bro. So, well, that's kind of cool, though. I mean, he literally just let you pick and choose. He's like, hey, we want a Realm Royale esports team, and you gave him names of hey, these are notable players that should be on the team. So, yeah. I mean, so was this strategic? Was he like, hey, find someone in each position, or
No, he just kind of gave me free reign. I think that, there's some probably some requirements that have to be met,
yeah,
maybe the person should be streaming at least every once in a while, or that kind of thing. And obviously they need to be a top player. So that's just kind of when I went off.
Krippler got the excite on that one. Need to be a top player. All right. So what was your guys' reactions then? Did you just message Raisin and Krippler and was like, hey, this dude's talking to me, are you interested in this? Or what was your reactions? Did you think he was memeing you, Raisin, or what happened here?
Honestly, on my part, everyone knows I took a good little break from Realm.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna come back to it. I wanted to come back to it because why wouldn't I? It's a great game. Just has some things that bugged me about it, but at the time I was kind of really knee deep into Apex, and it kind of came at a perfect time because I needed one extra little push to really come back to Realm. I was still dabbling in it. I played it here and there, but then Giant came up with this, and then he always told me, he always yelled at me to come back and play Realm, and at first I thought it was a meme. He's like, dude, you should check out this cool opportunity to maybe check it out, talk to him, see what you think. And I was like, he's BSing me, he just wants me in a game or two. Little Raisin's back, but no, it was pretty cool. He came up, he just told me to talk to this guy, and then it went by pretty quickly, so it wasn't really a meme. So it was definitely the push I needed to kind of get back into it. Obviously right now Realm isn't exactly where it needs to be for it to be a full esports, but
yeah,
obviously we'll talk more about that later. But it's definitely a cool opportunity, and it's definitely a good spot to to be standing, to see the game grow. Where from a good viewpoint, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a nice little surprise.
So me personally, I was talking to Giant. He kind of told me about this opportunity, and I kind of how did this come about? Like, how did you get picked and whatnot? And he kind of told me the background, pretty much exactly what he told you guys. And I pretty much just asked him again, like, I talk about this all the time. Like, if you don't ask, like, you can't expect to get anything for free. Like, people aren't just going to hand you things. And I said, hey, listen, like, is there any chance that, you might be interested in looking for possibly like an assassin or just another player and whatnot? So, Giant said he'll talk to Blaine, and then Giant came back to me and said, absolutely, let's do this. Sweet. So again, I took a shot, and that was it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So for you, Kripp, like, I hang out in your stream somewhat. You stream during the day, which is really nice because I watch streams during the day when I'm at work.
Yeah.
So like you when I'm working. Shh, don't tell my boss. Okay, so like you took a break from your full-time job because of some stuff going on IRL. Like,
yeah.
I'm just curious, and feel free to dodge this. You don't have to answer this question, but are you planning eventually to like transition back to your job, or are you gonna like?
Oh yeah, no. So so with my job, I love my job. I love what I do. It's the best job in the world. It took me forever to get it, and when I got it, I was like absolute luckiest person in the world. Unfortunately, with my job comes a lot of risk, and unfortunately, I got hurt at my job, and it put me out of work for about 8 months. It put me on disability. And so I wasn't able to do a lot of things that I used to love doing. So I had to find something that I could occupy my time with, something that wasn't going to injure myself even further. And I've always loved PC gaming, and I got into streaming. I started streaming as a hobby. I didn't expect this to go anywhere. I literally never in a million years even thought anybody would even watch me play. Started playing Realm Royale with a bunch of my buddies and decided to turn the stream on. Nothing came of it for like the first month. And then out of nowhere, I put TTV in my name. And people started coming to my channel. I don't know why. People just started coming to my channel, and people started coming back and staying. And, then I got affiliated, and then, a few months passed. And then here I am. I think I'm like, averaging at 110 viewers right now and applied for partnership. And I'm just like, wow, the channel took off. And
Congrats,
I'm still,
man.
Thank you. Like, I'm still going to, I'm still going to stream on a regular basis. I'm going to go back to work at some point. But, if there's anybody out there that thinks they can't do it, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And it's
well,
awesome.
I mean,
it's been a great opportunity.
Like, I think it's inspiring because I remember when you were first started out streaming, well, not like first started out, but when you like were streaming Realm, and you were like at like, I don't remember how many you started out at, but it was like 20 viewers or whatever. Like, I remember when you were like averaging that and hopping in your chat and chatting with you sub, and now all of a sudden you've been averaging like what, like 100, like 150?
Yeah, like 150 plus. Yeah.
What, like, that's insane to me that it's like, to see that kind of growth so quickly, which is really cool for the Realm community, is that there's so many streamers out there seeing this large growth, which is well deserved, because they're fantastic streamers or fantastic players, like, so I think that's huge for you guys, so but yeah, I don't know, I was excited to hear this announcement because I was hanging out in Gentle's Aero stream, and everyone was like, I heard Aero and Gentle specifically be like, oh, we have an announcement, and I'm like, I know that they applied for partnership, so I just thought you were going to be partnered, and then when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's like super hype. Like, I was like really, really excited for you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because it's like, I mean, I don't know if this is like the first. Is this like a first? Are you guys literally the first Realm Royale esports signed?
We're the first team.
But okay,
in Old Realm, Bird was signed by NRG, and then there was one other signing. I don't remember exactly who it was, but
yeah,
I think there's been
two people were signed in Old Realm.
I mean, because like the esports was kind of brief. Everyone was still kind of like picking and prodding at who do they really want, or who's at the top.
And that was like an individual, which is like, but I mean, this is really interesting because of the dip that Realm Royale faced. Like, obviously it started out and blew up from the beginning, but then it took this massive dip to their player base, and now it's slowly growing back. But for an esports organization to say, hey, we see potential here, like we believe there's going to be esport opportunity here, so we're going to sign some of the top players, like, and personally, I don't. This is just my opinion. I don't know if this is like I'm not super educated on what I'm gonna say, but I feel like this is a little bit different than like some of the clans that have formed, or what I would call maybe like unproven esport organizations, I guess. And again, I'm gonna throw out names, but I don't know, so call me out, chat, if I'm wrong. But like you've seen like teams like Fate, or you've seen like SQRT, some of these people that are doing some grassroots esports organization, but they wouldn't be necessarily like a proven esports organization yet. Whereas Sanguine is probably a little bit different in the fact that they actually have teams already that are competing in other, esports nationally, with Smite and with Paladins and with a handful of other games. So like, I think this is kind of a big deal that it's like, hey, like an esports organization with other, pro teams is interested in Realm Royale. I don't know. I just think that's hype, So
yeah, I think it definitely shows what could potentially happen. There's not even there's no tournaments right now. There's no actual competitive play in Realm Royale right now.
Yeah.
Yet there's a partnered esports organization that came to the game and found some people because they see they're trying to get ahead of the curve, I guess. So
I mean, Raisin, you look like you were going to say something. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I mean, I feel like the situation, as you said, like, it is hype. It's pretty cool, like, for this to happen and like kind of build up towards this spot. Obviously, I would want to like kind of like curb like the crazy expectations until like things actually start popping off. It's a good standpoint.
Yeah,
it's a great like, I guess, outlook on how things could work out. But obviously, like I'm super grateful. Like, it's great. I love it. Giant included us into this, and it's amazing for me to have met him and be able to be an addition to all of this. But obviously, it still all depends on pretty much just Realm Royale, like just expanding and its growth. Because as Giant said, there's no esports yet. There's no tournaments. There's no like crazy competitiveness. But I mean, it does kind of not necessarily pave the path, but like it does have like a path there, kind of like as I said, an outlook to hopefully things to come. I'm honestly banking on this summer, hopefully. Realm Royale, let's go.
Please.
Yeah, please.
I mean, like, if there's somebody that has some sort of power over there at high res, like, let's get it started. Like, let's like at least start building a community. If you guys can't officially host a tournament, like, I think there's something to be said about trying to empower this aspect of your player base. Like, whatever that is, like, help resource us with tools to help make Q snipes better. If you guys can't give us custom lobbies, help resource us with tools that we can help make Q snipes better for organized events. Like, so go ahead, Kripp.
I was actually kind of ran into a little situation the other day, and I spoken to a couple people over at High Res, I guess, whatnot, J Nash, regarding the incident. And we're not really supposed to be Q sniping, and that's kind of like, that came about because of the lack of competition, especially with the top tier players like Giant, Itty Mouse, Aero, Raisin, all those guys at the top, right? Like, and there's a lack of competition when you go into a regular lobby and just queue up with random people, and your viewers that when you're streaming, they're not supposed to be trying to get into your game. But because of the lack of competition, because of the lack of custom lobbies, we sort of kind of implemented this whole system where, let's try to get as many players that we are familiar playing against in the competition, try to get everybody into one lobby. That's kind of how the Q sniping came about. But I guess we're not really supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of is a push for custom lobbies. Like, that will literally make Realm Royale, at least the competitive scene will start coming about because of that. And it's tough right now, like where we're at, with just random lobbies and only 32 players per solo lobby.
I mean,
still 32.
Yeah, I think it's 32. Yeah, 32 or 36, 36 maybe.
It goes up for every squads has 52 cap.
Yeah,
so it's different for each queue.
And what's duos? Duos is like 46 or something.
Yeah, it's
duos is 40 something. But yeah, I mean, and I acknowledge that, like I acknowledge the fact that it's like Q, like, or at least I understand the perspective that it's like high res doesn't want to like support Q sniping, because in essence it's like sort of like maybe not something that was designed like that they wanted the player base to do, but it was something that just evolved naturally,
Yeah.
I will say though that other BRs are doing it. So for example, like Apex, because they don't have custom lobbies, they're queue sniping. I know for a fact Fortnite, because a lot of players and organizations there that don't have access to custom lobbies, they queue snipe for their scrims as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think the only game that's like an exception would be like PUBG, that's already introduced custom lobbies. But again, I think it's like limited to, you know, certain streamers or certain tournaments or certain organizers within the community.
Yeah,
so
by attorneys.
What?
Invitationals or whatever for the rules.
So, and they have custom lobbies obviously for sponsored events. I mean, and it's not that Hi-Res doesn't have custom lobbies. Like, they have custom lobbies. It's a matter of who they're going to give access to, and then what that actually means for implicating that into the game. Like, I understand their position on not just handing out custom lobbies to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I totally understand that. So personally, I've come to a place where I'm like, I feel like it's almost like a given that we're going to queue snipe. And for me, I've kind of given in on this idea that it's like, if they're going to hand out custom lobbies, I feel like it would be for like a Realm Com, or it would be for like an organization where you can have, you know, like a tournament that's organized where you're going to have 100+ players. But I doubt that they're going to give us custom lobbies for like a scrim night on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I
mean, I'm skeptical. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm just skeptical of that, I think. So,
I mean, I don't think it would be them giving like one of us like custom powers over making a custom lobby. It'd have to be one of their employees, probably, like how EPIP used to do it back then, to like pretty much take control into his own schedule and like host these kind of like custom lobby games. Like, that's the only way I'd see it working. I don't know exactly who they'd really entrust that to at this point.
Yeah,
but
to Giant, they're gonna give that power to Giant.
Yeah, smirk on his face.
I know. Giant's like, what if I told you I had a secret? Giant's like, I already have custom lobbies. So, but I don't know. I mean, like, because, okay, so like, here's the thing that frustrates. I actually talked with Jay Nash about this in his stream the other day. I'm not frustrated about it, but his reply, because I asked on Reddit and I asked in other areas, why don't we have lobby IDs? Because the way that Fortnite scrims work is, and the same is true with Apex, but with their champions, you know, like the champion of the last game. So the way that they'll do it is, when you get in a queue snipe, you have someone from your team type in the lobby ID and or the name of the champion in your game, and a bot in Discord organizes you into a lobby within Discord so you can see which teams got into the same lobby. Which, like, if you're going to queue snipe, that's probably the optimal scenario, at least for Realm Royale. It's like, hey, if we actually wanted to, like, organize this and create some sort of, like, a league or do something competitive with it, you know, if we don't have access to custom lobbies, or you're doing scrims or something of that matter, to me, that would be, like, a really nice handout from Realm Royale to say, we don't have custom lobbies for you. We can't empower you. Maybe we don't even endorse this. But next week, there's going to be lobby IDs up on the right-hand corner that you guys could create something yourself and use. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how that would be received, but I wish that Realm Royale had something like that, because what I heard was that each lobby already has an ID. It's just not visible. So that was the response that was given to me. So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, obviously, if it's not supposed to be something we're supposed to be doing, like, should streamers stop doing it? Should we stop doing scrims? Like, I mean, it's something that's good for the game and good for the community. I don't know how I feel about that, you know?
Personally, I'm going to keep doing it unless I'm asked to stop.
Correct.
So I will continue to do it, because that's how I have fun with the game right now. So
yeah,
I really hope that they don't ask us not to, because oh man, that would be kind of resident sleeper for me. So
that would be, I would be super disappointed if that actually happened, but
as would I. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues would be, because like all the different split players between like console and PC, like they'd actually have to like have like maybe more than one separate person, like kind of like leading in each category, like one for Xbox, one for PS4, one for PC. I don't know what their like employee like situation is like, or how many people they can really actually put onto Realm Royale.
Yeah,
but that might be the issue too, because like there's like a big statistical jump What in the world?
Oh my god!
Sorry, guys.
You're fine,
That's
dude.
the neighbors, guys.
Somebody get murdered over there?
What if like a whole horde of kids just came and started beating on Raisin? Like that would be the best like clip ever.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm right here, Comte Lee. I'm right here.
No, don't call them. But yeah, no, but like I feel like there's from last I saw. I mean, I haven't really checked the statistics in a little while, but like console had like a huge boost in players compared to PC players.
Yeah.
I don't really know the voice of the console players. Like mainly, the voice that I hear is just from PC players. And right now, I feel like we are the minority out of the three groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
And so I don't exactly know how they would prioritize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of comes with like the silence that I feel like we've been hearing.
It's funny because like we're the minority in terms of when you compare us to like Xbox and PS4 numbers, but I feel like on stream we're the majority, right? Because you have the biggest streamers are on PC, which is kind of funny how that works out.
Like the influencers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
what's that?
like most people when they play on Xbox, they're not trying to stream on Xbox, are they?
They are.
Actually,
they are.
I don't know.
No, there's a lot of people
streaming.
streaming.
There's
a lot of people. I mean, you have capture cards streaming.
Yeah.
But the biggest Realm streamers are all on PC. I mean, I don't know any major console player streamer.
Yeah.
I feel like that comes in hand with like how it came out on PC first. So like you guys have the majority of the community already, you know?
Of course.
It's also that we can be more flashy.
Yeah.
We can do cooler things.
Weapon swapping.
Like Giant can't really flick shot, but you can't flick shot on console very much, if at all.
I mean,
so like just
that's like universal. Raisin dropping shade there, dude. But I mean, that's like universal, right? Like any sport, like any video game, the largest influence streamers, whatever, from any game are on PC. Like that's just how it is, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't feel like we're saying anything that's like, you know, crazy. You know, but you know, people who typically tend to play on Xbox or PS4 are like a little bit more like casual because it's, you know, like, you know, while you get home from school, you turn on the console, you play some games or something, you know. So,
well, that comes in when it's like cross play. I feel like I do think there's a disadvantage in that field.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you're right, and I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that they don't have tournaments right now because we saw a huge boost when they announced the tournaments and PC players. You know, it went from like 5,000, 4,000 to like 10,000 in like a week when they announced the tournaments.
Yeah.
So you know,
we all bought the battle pass and then they canceled it.
Be like, yeah. Thank you for purchasing your ticket. The ride is now closed.
Yeah, some people went as far as even buying a PS4, playing the PS4 tournament as well.
I don't know who did that.
The PS4 tournament.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, and I don't like to get like too pessimistic or sarcastic or whatever with Realm Royale because I feel like there's a lot of haters out there. So I try and be as positive as possible, but I thought that was really funny that it's like, we're going to host an open tournament. Oh, wait, you guys can't group together. Oh, crap, we should cancel this thing, guys. Like, that was pretty, I'm not going to lie, that was pretty funny for sure.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
A little rough on the morale, dude.
Yeah.
Hurt my heart just a bit.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm cheering for those guys, though. I'm like, you guys can do this. Like, I firmly believe this game is so good, and you guys can do this, you know? But it is, I understand they're, like, trying to do a lot right now, especially with console. They're trying to polish the game. They're trying to release content. They're trying to, like, make money. You know, they're trying to do a lot. But I don't know, man. So.
The most important thing right now is making the game smooth, making the game feel good to play. Getting rid of the stupid bugs that are still in the game. Once they do that, like the things that can happen, imagine they make the game feel good. Like there's not any major bugs anymore, or anything like that. Then they can go ahead and go pay a big streamer to play this game. Yeah. And that just brings in insane amounts of growth. But you can't do that until the game's ready. So that's what needs to happen.
Yeah. And I feel like they did that a little bit for EU. I don't know if they've been targeting the EU audience or not, because there were like a handful of large, like at least I think they were Russian. Like they've had some large Russian and French streamers, and this is not official, but I heard that some of those were like, you know, sponsored streams. So I don't know if that's been a goal of theirs, is to increase EU audience or not, but could be.
I think I remember when that was happening. Yeah, I think they might have been sponsored.
Remember, I don't know if they were sponsored, but I remember seeing playing like I remember seeing. I think like one was like French organization was playing, and they had like what 6,000 viewers or something. I was like, holy moly, what's going on over here?
Yeah,
and I think another one was Russian or something like that, or Italian. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. But then that's all gone. That never happened again.
Yeah,
I mean that was during the console explosion, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
right when console blew up, like those guys came up.
Yeah.
Lee, you've been quiet. You got something to say?
I'm just starstruck with all these guys.
He's like,
I'm just listening.
I am in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, I'm just studying Raisin flick shots in slow-mo in the background while you are talking. I just put it down to 0.25 speed, and sometimes I still can't see when the cursor actually gets over the target. It's insane.
Flick shots. You can flick shot with an axe.
Button, dude.
I didn't know you could flick shot with axes.
Oh yeah, all day, dude.
Dude, he like left flicks with axes. Have you ever seen that? He doesn't even right flick. He like left flicks with it.
I'm watching. He has a VOD where he rubs Crisco on his mouse pad, and it makes way more sense now.
Crisco? So
I might have had to pay extra to see that video, though.
Yeah. Dude, I get like motion sick. I have to take Dramamine before I go watch Raisin play video games because it's just like the screen is just like going like this the whole time, and I'm like hurling in the corner, you know. So,
not to cut us off or anything, did we? I don't exactly know. I know you have like a little schedule on the side.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to talk about, or where we at on that schedule if we're trying to talk about something else?
Oh, we're just kind of chatting about whatever. You don't like the topic?
I'm scared.
No, we can move on though. We can move on. Yeah, we were kind of talking. We kind of branched off on a rabbit trail there, but I am curious. Like, we can get back onto the Sanguine Esports thing because I'm curious about the relationship you guys have with the organization. Like, you know, you guys are like a team. And I wasn't sure what the language was, you know, and I was going to ask that tonight. And then I heard some of you guys in a video and on stream say, like, we did sign with them. Like, is there like a contract or something? Like, how does, you know, and feel free to share as much or as little information as you guys are able to. But, like, what's the relationship there with Sanguine?
Not exactly sure.
Kripp.
Yeah, Kripp.
All right, so, well, I mean, the relationship really is like Giant said earlier. They already have teams in Paladins and Smite, and now they're looking to jump into Realm Royale, hopefully because of the fact that they believe that there's a future here in esports in this game, within this game. Me personally, I had no relationship with them. Like I said, I heard about them through Giant, and it was Giant that kind of brought us in into the organization. So I don't have I mean, obviously, I'm going to be building a relationship now. Owner Blaine is obviously I already had a relationship with Giant, Raisin. Aero, I knew for a very long time, obviously now, and you know, so it's not like, you know, I don't have a relationship with the organization, but I'm going to be building one now. But it's like John said, you know, they're bringing us in. He brought us in, so that's kind of how I heard about it.
Yeah,
it's the beginning, right? So
yeah,
and on the contract side of things, like, what we get from it right now is we're getting partnered with Twitch.
Yeah.
And we're getting the highest tier of partnership. So if you guys didn't know, there are actual tiers of partnership. You make more money from subs, the higher tiers you have. So we get that. And we also, they told us that we will be able to get front page Twitch time, which is massive.
That is
huge.
That's
That's
awesome.
bring a lot of people to the game. So that's a really important thing. We are not currently paid. We are not paid players right now, but that could change if a competitive scene comes to the game. So,
is there like is it fair to say, like, so let's say there was a tournament and you guys compete, like, is there a relationship there where if you make money that there's like a cut that you have to give to Sanguine? No, it's literally okay. So it's literally just like you guys are representing. You guys are like in other areas, it's sort of like a brand ambassador. But you get other benefits that also help you grow yourself and your stream and your name as well, which is huge. Like, I think that's really, really nice, you know.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard some people talking about it in a Discord that were chatting a little bit about, like, what this means and, like, you know, like some people who had some experience in previous esports and whether or not there's like a salary or whatever with that. But even if there isn't, like even if there is no salary, like let's say later on after a year you guys win a handful of tournaments, Sanguine offers you like a salary, like a contract for so many years with a salary attached to it or whatever. like I'll say, even if that never happens, like this is good for you guys just in the sense that it's like you guys have something on paper whenever, like, let's say Realm Esports does blow up and all of the, I'm going to call them like tier 1 organizations, you know, TSM,
Yeah.
Cloud9, you know, Fnatic, like all these tier 1 esports organizations come looking for players. You guys already have experience, you know, on paper and on a contract to say, hey, we've won this many tournaments. You know, we have experience with an esports organization, you know, in Sanguine. You know, not that you would want to do that to Sanguine, but maybe Sanguine will also come to the table, you know, in that regard too. But I think that's really good for you guys as individuals and as players, that it's like, you don't just have to be making a salary to continue to grow as somebody who wants to make a name for themselves in esports. You know, it's
correct. I mean, I personally didn't do anything. I didn't do this for salary. You know, it's more for the opportunity. It's more the chance for Realm to grow. I mean, if we got on the front page of Twitch, we've seen other Realm streamers on the front page of Twitch, and they averaged 8,000 viewers.
Yeah.
And that just means 8,000 more people watching Realm Royale. So it's just more of a chance for Realm Royale to grow. I mean, I'm sure Giant, none of us did this for the salary.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then,
I saw Raisin hesitate a little bit there.
Raisin's
No,
like,
no,
wait,
no.
they didn't offer you
I'm
guys a
just
salary?
kidding.
They offered
I'm
me a
just
salary.
Yeah.
Am I the only
I
one
mean,
getting
obviously,
salary right now?
Like later on, obviously, the dream would be always to be paid to play, to pay to compete.
Of course.
You know? So like,
Yeah.
but no, definitely right now, it's, as Krippler said, like it's all about growth. We just need the game to grow,
Yeah.
and that would definitely be the goal here.
Well, okay, so this is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but talking about like pro esports players is a little bit of a, like, it frustrates me at times. I follow League of Legends since season 2, and I've watched the LCS since season 2. So I stopped watching last year, but I followed it still and still follow some of the organizations. And one of the things that frustrates me about esports is that there is a lot of money in it, but there is like a select few amount of people who are making like really good money consistently from year to year. And I've seen people literally throw their entire life into an esport in the hope of becoming a professional esport and to be able to make a lot of money, you know, being like an esports pro, when the industry in and of itself is like so turbulent. Like there's constant turnover of players every single, like even every single split, you know, just like you would have in any other sport. But it's sort of like basketball, where you know, there's only, in most games there's only like 5 people on a team. Like, so if you're not a starter or whatever, like, so this whole idea of like being you're not a pro if you're not making salary is kind of like, I think the esports in general is just a little bit too in its infancy yet for us to be making those kind of statements. You know, like it's about, I think there's like a fine blurred line between, you know, streaming on Twitch, making money playing video games, and being like an esports pro, you know, especially for a game like Realm Royale or even Paladins and Smite, who have established leagues, but a lot of players, you know, aren't receiving large amounts of money, if any money at all, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tangent, because people, when they talk about esports, it's like, it frustrates me, because I'm like, you realize how few people actually make it as like, I'm making $1 million playing for TSM. You know what I mean? Like how few people there are out there that are doing that.
Well,
So
it's always important to have a backup plan, but yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean,
yeah,
it is, you know, it's like you said, like it's any other sport. I mean, how many people play sports their entire lives, like physical sports, baseball, basketball, football, and how many of those players make it to the professionals and actually make money? Like how many Derek Jeters are out there? How many A-Rods? How many LeBron Jameses? How many, you know, Tom Brady's are out there? You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's just interesting to talk about for me. You know, I think it's interesting to talk about because it's like, you know, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, because I still believe like people should like pursue that, you know what I mean? But there's also like this fine blurred line between like being a content creator, like entertainer, streamer, you know, and also being really good at video games, because you see people like Ninja competing in events and making tons of money, and you see people like Dizzy, you know, in Apex Legends, you know, pulling in tons of money and winning from tournaments and stuff, you know, and there's no even established league there. So I don't know, but
hey, I have a question, actually a follow-up question there too.
What?
I'm curious, the three of you guys, would you more consider yourselves competitive esports players, or would you more consider yourselves content creators in that sense?
That's a good question.
Because like Ninja, I wouldn't consider him necessarily like an esports pro. Like he's pretty good at Fortnite, sure, but he's more of a content creator.
I mean, as of right now, I probably consider myself more of a content creator. There's no actual tournaments, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really hard to really like categorize ourselves as esports players at the time when
yeah.
Well,
not really competing for anything.
I mean, I competed in a and I won money. So, I mean, sure. No, just kidding. I would undoubtedly consider myself a content creator at this point. I wouldn't even think about calling myself an esport pro. First of all, I mean, it's not even a question. Gentle Giant, Raisin, Aero, the three of them are phenomenal players, way better than I am. And if I did try to go up against them in any type of esports, I would probably not likely to win. These guys are amazing, right? And I don't think I'm at that level to be an esport pro, or at least a successful esport pro. I'm more of like, hey, you're a pretty cool streamer. Let's go watch you.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
That's fair.
honestly,
I mean, it's all fair.
I need to cut you off there, Krippler. Count yourself out, dude.
Okay, I agree with what Raisin just said too, Crip, because I feel like, okay, like this is initially, I talked about this on stream with my chat the other day. We were talking, I think it was Saturday night after you guys' announcement. They were wondering, and you guys, we can maybe address this in a little bit. They were wondering why Mouse wasn't chosen, okay? And the thing that I said to them was this: I think that they picked, respectively, I think that they picked the strongest players in each individual class. So, for example, they picked Aero, debatably the best hunter in Realm Royale. That may not even be debatable. At least this is an opinion, but I think Aero is the best hunter in Realm Royale. Okay, so Aero don't get a fat head, but I think
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really would agree
His
with
head's
that.
already big enough, dude.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
You can just tell by the profile picture you put up. Like,
Have you seen his avatar?
Yeah. Oh jeez, he's not here, so we can talk. We can drop.
He's
He's
here.
here.
He's here.
Oh, he's here.
Is he here?
He's sick, but he's not too sick to listen to the chat to watch it.
His head is big because he's sick right now. That's what it is.
He's in the lobby for his next game, so
Yeah.
he's got some time to kill.
Yeah.
Six head. But anyway, okay. So the point I was trying to make was I feel like they picked the best respective players on each class. So you've got, Raisin. I've always said this about you, is that I think you're the best warrior I've ever seen play Realm Royale. Okay,
Agreed.
Krippler, I think you're the best, assassin I've ever seen. And Gentle Giant, I think you're one of the best all-around players I've ever seen. Where you have the flexibility to flex into warrior, you have the flexibility to flex in the mage. Respectively, they picked the best players, and also fantastic content creators within the community to represent their organization. So, I mean, Krippler, don't count yourself out, bro. Like, I can't think of I can't think of another assassin. Like, who would you pick? Who would you pick over yourself, Krip?
I've got some guys I'd pick over.
An assassin? I can't think of anybody.
I'm sure there's a couple guys out there.
I mean, honestly, I usually try to. Oh, my bad, Jack. Go for it.
No, you go for it.
I usually try to stray away from really ranking anything in any kind of BR.
But this is a podcast, so we have to live on the edge here, okay?
there are a massive good players out there.
Do it for the content.
Yeah, do it for the
There are
content, bro.
massive
Be
good
like, yeah,
players.
Just go
Okay.
ahead and say who you hate in the game, Raisin.
yeah. Let's just talk about.
I
Let's
hate
not talk
Aero.
about who's the best. Let's talk about who's the worst. Who's
is
the
the
worst
worst?
warrior you have ever played? No.
Wait, save that.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Mouse is the worst warrior I've ever seen.
I think I watched him play Warrior. He got better though.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
seen
he
Mouse play
did.
Warrior.
He played
Yeah,
warrior
better
like
Did get
once.
better.
But no, that time when he was trash talking Warrior for the longest time, and then he finally listened to his viewers and he played a Warrior game. He landed, he got his axe, he missed 10, he insta died, and then he never played Warrior again.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I was there for the whole 2 minutes of it. It was the best 2 minutes ever. His face was just a look of disgust. We're toxic. Went back to playing Mage.
Oh my god.
That's like the last 2 weeks of my VODs on my channel right now. If I'm being honest. Just land, miss a bunch of axes, insta die.
Axe is so OP. Missed 5 in a row, dead. Never
Go
said
back,
your
axes.
watch Raisin and Giant gameplay to try to get better at Axe.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's too much.
They might be nerfing X again, dude. I'm scared.
Oh god.
They're nerfing Axe again?
It's needed.
Well, I'm a Mage main, dude. So
It's needed.
You're a mage main now? Is that what, are you switching? You
my
and
Mage
Giant
is
gonna
level
switch?
3, dude.
No, he's...
Confirmed. You heard it here first, chat.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably move on because we're having too much fun here. But I don't want to keep you guys too long tonight, so we'll keep moving in the discussion a little bit. But
You're good, I got this.
one of the things that I wanted to talk about too. Well, first of all, do you guys want to answer that question for Chad and people who haven't heard? Why didn't they choose Mouse?
I talked to Mouse. He just kind of wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah, it wasn't
Fair.
something that he felt was the right for him personally.
Yeah. Personal choice.
His own decision. Yeah.
Yeah, which is respectful for like
Yeah.
like it's understandable from his position that it's like, you know, he has other endeavors and other opportunities. So,
Yep.
but cool.
Yeah, and to be fair, the other thing to be said too, because a lot of people would be thinking like, "Oh, Mouse is amazing," but there's something to be said on teamwork as well. Like you could have two people who aren't necessarily the best in the game, and they might beat another team who are two really good players
Mhm.
for a number of reasons. So that's another reason why, to Raisin's point, you can't really rank people, especially in a
Correct.
BR.
No, yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. Yeah. And I agree. I agree with that completely. You know, that it's like there are a lot of really talented players out there already in the scene. You know, I mean, Deathmatch is another one that, you know, we have to talk about specifically because he's proven himself within the community as an outstanding warrior, especially, you know, he's EU, but you know, playing against a lot of really good EU players as well as NA players. There's a lot of talented people out there right now. So
Yeah.
when esports comes, they're going to have a handful of people to pick from, you know, if they want to pick from within the community, which I think would be wise, but that's just my opinion. So,
Yeah.
But I'm sure there'll be a lot of big names coming back too if tournaments do come back.
yeah.
Everyone can talk as much smack on Realm as they want, but when tournaments, if and when they do come back, and people get a whiff of it, they hear about it, they're gonna come back and play in the tournaments.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
can't tell you how many streams I've been in lately where people are saying they miss this game.
Yeah.
They miss it. They miss this game was like nothing else. You know, it was the best game I had ever played. But little do they know, this game is getting better and better every patch.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so hopefully we'll get to a point where we'll start seeing a lot more players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think people just need to let go of old Realm. Like, honestly,
Mhm.
I really do think people just need to let go of old Realm. Like,
It's hard.
I know it's hard. Like, it's like I do that with other games, but listen, like, you can't enter into an intimate relationship with another game if you're constantly thinking about an older
Whoa.
game while you're
Yeah.
being intimate with the
Older?
current game. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like older, like in age? This got real weird, man.
maybe. Do you understand what I'm putting down?
Oh yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
decent
Yeah,
analogy.
that
It's a
makes sense.
decent analogy.
Like, that's a good analogy, right? It's like, you know,
Great analogy. Absolutely.
calling out old Realm in the middle of playing new Realm.
Yeah.
Sorry, that got weird real quick. All right. So, okay, well, we'll keep going. Thank you. Okay, so what, like, the next thing, some of the stuff I had is, like, do you guys think Realm is esports ready? Everyone already knows it's not. Like, I feel like that's an easy one. Everyone kind of knows that Realm isn't esports ready. Everyone sees the potential, but there's just a lot that needs done with the game. But what do you guys think needs to happen for Realm to, like, actually, what things should happen within the game in order for Realm to, like, be ready? Like,
Great question.
specifically within PC, okay? Like, I'm not talking about console. I know Hi-Rez has, you know, been focusing a lot on, like, console and improving console experience, which they should be doing because that's, you know, a lot of their money making. But specifically within PC and the PC community, you know, what needs to happen? Like,
Fix Blink.
Oh man.
Well,
Also, the
supposedly-
clipping,
Yeah. Go ahead.
clipping around the map is
Yeah.
horrible. Just
Yeah.
getting stuck on nothing is the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
a skill
supposedly
cap, man.
Blink is being fixed, so
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
hopefully we'll see it.
It'll be
better.
18 on Wednesday at 11 a.m. They're gonna be talking about the new patch. Supposedly, Blink worked appropriately or right on their end, but when it translated to the live servers, it wasn't working the exact way. There was that delay that everybody now sees. Supposedly, going forward, when you blink, it's supposed to be instant. It's going to be instant, hopefully. Blinking through windows was always an issue. Sometimes you could rubber band or you hit the tippy tip of the corner of the window, and the blink just didn't work. You know, you blink up and it doesn't take you anywhere. You end up staying on the ground. I mean, there's just so many different bugs to the blink. It's unbelievable.
I have a question, not to deviate, but real quick, if you could answer. since especially you guys have some experience with the team directly, is there a decent explanation as to why some of these more obvious looking bugs we see, is there a reason why they get through the testing phase when they're releasing these new patches?
I actually have no idea.
No idea.
The only thing I can think about is because of what they told us about Blink, the fact that it works on their end but not on our end.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of is maybe their servers are more stable. They don't see those things, but that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe that might not even be true. No,
Quick, say something.
No idea.
I mean,
Works on our machine.
I don't know who they entrust testing out their servers and testing out their new patches. Maybe they don't play as thoroughly as they should to really find these bugs and to pinpoint it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know exactly how else they'd really find out about it aside from not testing their servers enough.
I mean, maybe that's a question for J Nash too. Is we can, ask some people that are game devs. Sorry, I choked on water and I'm struggling. But anyway, yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that we can ask, J Nash and some of them about. Is hey, why do we good gravy? Why do we keep on experiencing these repetitive bugs? Why is window vaulting all of a sudden now bad? Have you guys noticed that?
Oh, I've noticed it. Crossing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, window vault.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did with window vaulting, but something got real messed up with it. Where it's when you try and window vault some places, it's insanely laggy.
Yeah, I mean, how many times we've seen a new patch come out and they fixed one thing, but then now they introduce 5 more bugs.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That vaulting was one of them. Vaulting was never, when it first came out, it was okay, and then I have no idea, horrible. It just got really bad, and I don't know. I don't know what causes it. I don't know how it works, but apparently when you mess with one set of code, it apparently messes up with another set of code, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder. I have no idea how that works. That's way above my pay grade.
Yeah.
But
well, from a developer's point of view, I do know that that's a very common software development thing that happens but usually what you do is called regression testing, where when you make a change, you go back and make sure the things previously that you have fixed aren't broken again. But that's what makes me think that part of the issue might just be there's not enough resources on their end. They just don't have enough people.
Well, I think it's a small studio, which we all know. And it's not EA, it's not some of these other big companies, but it's a small studio. So how many people do they have really working in the development team actually looking at that stuff,
Yeah.
So, right.
And to be fair, you do see a lot of bugs occur within, large studios too. Keep that in mind that it's not just how many,
Correct.
In any game, it doesn't matter how large the studio is. You're gonna have some bugs. People need to understand that it's there are gonna be bugs. It's a matter of which bugs are insanely game breaking.
Right.
So for example, we talked about this in a couple a couple episodes ago. I'm actually okay with the Silent Axe bug. Okay, no, listen, hear me out.
It's the only way I win games, guys.
Yeah, hear me out. So they released a new patch and axes were silent. Okay, it was annoying, it was unfair, and it was a bug. It was fixed within 3 days though, where it's a bug like that where it's I'm okay. Look how Giant is out of scope now. He's I don't want to show him how much I disagree with this comment.
Giant's like this.
Yeah. He slowly slinks out of picture.
I honestly think those are one of the game breaking bugs.
The what?
Because I think those are one of the game breaking bugs. You have to have sound. Sound is such a huge part of the game.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well let me finish my thought here for you. Okay, let me finish my thought process here. So the reason that I'm okay with something like that is it's okay, so here is it game breaking? Kind of, right? It's unfair to players. It's something that needs fixed right away, but at the same point in time, it's it's also a matter of this is a bug that slipped through the cracks and they fixed right away. Versus a bug where it's literally the game is unplayable, where you can't group with people or you can't queue, something like that, which we've also seen those bugs happen. But little small bugs that it's does it impact player experience? Absolutely. Should we continue to hold people to a high standard? Yes. But we have to also understand as gamers, the game's in beta still technically, which is kind of an excuse, and I do agree with that. But also to the extent of Like sometimes things are going to happen where it's like, so maybe they turn off axes. I don't know. Then warrior's unplayable for a few days. Like I don't know what I don't know if there's a better solution. I'm just saying that this occurs every single day in every game. Like where like the largest games in the world, like League of Legends, literally have to turn off champions, or they have to disable certain things because when they release a new patch, bugs occur that are literally game breaking, and that's coming from some of the largest game developers in the world. So that's just my perspective in terms of like, I think we do have to also keep that in mind when evaluating Realm, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys can call me
I mean, I
crazy,
see where you're
but-
coming from. Like, I see like things like not being able to group up together like affects Realm Royale as a whole. Like, it affects everyone.
Exactly.
Or axes, I guess it would affect a part of the player base, but like silent axes, like it definitely does ruin the experience for some people. Like, dying and not hearing a single thing, like, is actually it is game breaking. It would make people uninstall the game 100%.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's something that would really ruin the game as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
But I can see what you say by saying like the difference between the two different bugs.
yeah. So maybe they should have just disabled warrior. Like, do you think that would have been a better solution? Like,
I mean, they fixed it in 3 days, right? So
I mean, it was quick. It was fairly quick.
Yeah, they hot fixed it. I mean, I wish they would be able to do that with Blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that for like 10 months now.
Yeah. Since the beginning, dude. Since the beginning.
Yeah, 10 months.
Yeah. So also, did we just get a fat host? Thank you, Static Shock, for that host, dude. Appreciate that, man. So,
Why?
but
What a
anyway,
gentleman.
Kind of leading back to our original question before we kind of trailed up just a little bit.
yeah.
With, how Realm Royale would be esports ready. I mean, we did talk about it early. It would boil down to custom lobbies, that, or taking out bots, because I mean, you just want player against player. Like you can't be fighting bots. You can't be fighting a foe opponent. Like, it ruins the experience. It ruins the realness of it. Like for me personally, whenever I kill a bot, like I feel like my achievements like kind of get kind of watered down.
Of course.
Like, you kill a bot, you feel nothing good about it. At the same time, you're gaining your shards to forge. You're gaining a random legendary equipment that they might have looted. It's actually the worst feeling. Like, and then you kill someone with it.
No, it's not. The worst feeling is getting killed by that bot.
You get killed by bots.
Not speaking from experience.
Listen, no. Speaking from experience, it's happened. Come on.
Yeah. Getting killed by a bot is actually terrible.
Yeah,
too.
you're a liar. You're a phony. You're going to tell me right now.
Third partied by a bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
the
you
bot
just-
third parties are the
Yeah.
worst.
How many times have you been
just-
killed and all of a sudden it goes to the guy didn't kill me. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's happened. Don't lie.
It's pretty awful. Like,
It's a bad feeling.
Like, obviously, having custom lobbies, you don't need to take away the bots. Fine, if they have a purpose for the bots, for like the newer players. I mean, for any other player that enjoys going against the bots. Obviously, they gained a bigger player base when they added bots, so it's not, or it is working in a way, right? So they got some players back. But for our question, like, to be an esport, bots cannot be included. Like, there's just...
Oh, well, sure. So for example, you're okay with it as an onboarding for new players, but not,
Of course.
not for like as a high level. Like maybe there's a game mode where they have. I said game.
Yes, like esports is a completely different world.
Yes. Yeah, like a game
Yeah.
mode where they have bots included. Like that would be good, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'd be down for that.
I miss
I mean,
when
they-
there would be like only 20 players, but they'd be all real players, and you'd have to
Yeah.
like try hard.
Well, I mean, every game used to be a try-hard game,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of other players used to love about it as well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there are games that are still try-hard, but yeah, I shouldn't even go back. We're forgetting about the age thing. Never mind. We're not
Yeah,
even
that's
thinking
true.
about
That's
the old
true.
bro. My
That's
bad.
true. Hey,
Put it
but
away
that
already.
is one change though. That's not like bringing back armor pieces. Like getting rid of bots is actually a plausible thing that could happen with enough
No,
time.
Yeah.
Armor
Well, we'll
pieces
see.
are gone. We gotta let that go.
Yeah.
What?
I think there's too many pieces to pick up anyway. Honestly, some of the pieces were amazing, like gloves and swapping. Oof. But yeah, no, they're gone. Armor pieces are gone.
Yeah, that's not coming back.
Nerf runes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started.
Can we nerf the longbow?
Oh man.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of feelings on runes that is
Nobody complains
frustrating.
about the longbow, dude.
Yeah, because they're all hunter
Everyone
players.
complains about the axe. Yeah.
You know, people don't complain about the sniper rifle ever.
They used
One
to.
person.
They used to. Krippler.
Well, when the sniper rifle used to have no bullet drop, it used to have fire and frost, it used to have a faster reload. Yeah, everyone complained about it.
And
To
they
the point
used
where
to
now
get like one shot.
The
in
no
full
scope,
armor.
man.
Yeah, you used to get one shot in full armor.
you could scope midair. Yeah, there's a lot of things that people complained about. Now we have nothing.
Yeah, bow can still shoot midair.
Oh
Bow
yeah,
almost one shots you headshot.
I made a
it's
point
broken.
the other day.
It's broken. You don't
Oh,
even
it's
need to
way
reload
broken.
the thing.
Nope, 1 second draw
Yeah.
time.
But axes ain't broken.
Completely silent. If I shot my sniper rifle at old man, killing me, right? Like people literally hear me in autumn fields with my sniper rifle.
You like
Meanwhile,
we
somebody's
lost.
shooting at me with the people are shooting me with the bow, and I'm like doing 360s, like trying to figure out where the hell I'm being shot from.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they think they're never mind. They're
Yeah,
good.
Okay.
They're just
All
good.
right, can we agree on something here? Okay, like we're getting off on a tangent just a little bit, which is fun. But,
Rage.
like okay, so here's the discrepancy that I would draw is I feel like that the game needs a better understanding of communication, that if you're going to play at a competitive level, maybe they have a competitive game mode where they smash everything or something. Like I don't know what the answer is to that solution. Like I think a competitive game mode would be interesting where you smash everything to a certain level or whatever so you have a more even playing field. I
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I also agree with the nerf runes thing where, and I stole this from Hodsick because Hodsick vocalizes to me, and I think it's a really good point though, is he says the
Hodsick
reason
is
he
so
doesn't
strong.
like runes, not just because they're overpowered, but also because you have no idea what the other person has. So
Correct.
like,
Even after you spectate them, after they kill you,
yeah, yes.
You still
Yeah,
can't
because
figure out
that's
what they have.
broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's like a level of communication there that's missing, you know, as a player and the player experience, especially at a competitive level where it's like you go from, I can take this fight, or wow, I cannot take this fight, I'm dead. Because the person, like I was watching Aero the other day with his 2100 headshots because he had the rune loadout of I've never seen before, which is gold bow, headshot rune, weapon damage rune, and it was insane. It was
And
literally
recurve.
insane.
and recurve talent.
Yeah, and recurve.
Yeah.
So it's like you never like. There's too many layers for this to be a competitive experience right now. Personally, I find that, you know, like there needs to be a level of like they need. I don't want it to be boring. I still think you should be able to forge runes, but maybe they need to rework runes to make them more interesting. I don't know, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I want to keep moving because we were getting off on a tangent, which is fine, but I just don't want to keep you guys here all night unless you're having fun. I mean, we could probably chat until like forever, but one of the things,
I got my Jameson, dude.
yeah. You guys all showing off your drinks. I'm over here drinking water and I'm like dying.
Same.
You're so hydrated.
I know, it's a hydration bot. So, but one of the things I said was like, what were the different paths to esports? Because I think there could be multiple different paths here. We talked a little bit about tournaments and how Hi-Res canceled tournaments because I didn't feel like the game was ready. Obviously, there are certain stipulations that we're still waiting on. I thought that it was an interesting point that was brought up in one of our previous podcasts was the idea of like how Apex had how many million players and they still don't have custom lobbies and they still haven't hosted a single tournament outside of pub stomps. So I'm curious about like what the different paths we could take as Realm Royale players or from Realm Royale. Like, are we solely dependent on Hi-Res hosting a tournament in order for this to be like an esport? Like, you know, are there partnerships that could take place or are there outside organizations that could somehow host a tournament? Like is it all dependent on player base growth? Like what needs to happen, you know?
I mean, somebody else could make something happen. I mean, back in the day, there was the 1K tourneys that happened every weekend.
Yeah.
That wasn't with custom lobbies, you know. So I mean, somebody could make something happen, but I mean, who in their right mind right now is going to come put a bunch of money into this game?
That's true. Yeah.
It's just it
It's
has
just
to
not ready.
Yeah, there has to be. They have to be able to see that they would be able to succeed if they're going to put money into this game to do tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now, Apex has the player base. They have the clout. And
Yeah.
they have.
Well, they
multiple
did have the player
big
base.
Yeah, they still have it though. Like,
They
still
have. I mean, it's
multiple
a
big
decent sized
organizations.
player base, but
Yeah.
I would say Fortnite actually has the player base right now.
Oh, you know, definitely Fortnite has.
Yeah,
it.
they got it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they pump millions of dollars into their game for prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all the competitive players are going to be playing Fortnite to make money.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that I hate that game.
I know. It's like
I can't build, bro.
I was a professional, Cat Quest player for like 3 years and just had to give it up. There just wasn't money there, So just no sponsors. But man, I was going pro as hard as the pros went. I'm sorry, that was dumb.
Cat Quest, dude. I'm a Cat Quest main now, guys.
Yeah, Cat Quest main.
Streaming it at 9 p.m.
Yeah, Hello Kitty Island Adventure too, dude. I would have gone pro in that game.
I was pro in Club Penguin.
What was it?
Club Penguin,
Oh yeah,
but they shut it down.
I don't know. I'm going pro on Crunker, dude.
I was
Crunker.io.
using Cheat Engine.
Dude,
Cheat
Crunker's
Engine.
lit.
Crunker. I was playing that earlier.
Yeah. So the only reason that I'm asking that, obviously, we need growth in the industry, but like they had what's his name sponsoring, tournaments whenever there was hype surrounding a game. I think one other thing. Here is like, I at times I get a little discouraged with video games because I feel like a game gets released. There's a huge amount of hype around it. You see a lot of influx, and then within a couple of months it fizzles out. Like, which is a little discouraging. Like, I don't know if that's just the nature of gaming in general. Like, now obviously you have exceptions, where I feel like these game developers are just chasing for the next best thing, like, and chasing these, like, whereas you see like in other sports, like, traditional sports like soccer, basketball, whatever, these sports have existed for, long periods of time. I don't know, like, what's the answer here for Realm Royale? Like, do you feel like BRs are eventually going to get past their point, or like, do you think we've hit our prime already with BRs, or,
I think there's a huge expectation these days for game devs in general.
Yeah.
Especially in the BR genre. Game devs these days in BRs are expected to come out with content regularly.
Mm-hmm.
There has to always be new. I hate that this is a thing, but there has to always be new things, or people are gone.
Yeah.
People need a reason to play. People need a reason to stay. So
people want to grind. People want content. People want skins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
When all that stops, people leave.
not just new content either. Like, there are certain like missteps that a game can take. Like, they can mess up once, and players they're fickle. Like, one misstep, and they get angry about it, they're gone. Like that, you instantly lose that player, and then that player talks down on the game because of that misstep, and it just kind of cascades downwards. And it just because obviously players they're just expecting, they just have a full expectation of a perfect game. If, like, let's say for Realm Royale, when it comes out, they say put $20 in, you get this cool skin package, and you're gonna work on the battle pass. So now that the players put not extra money, but they put money in the game, they instantly have an expectation for the game to be complete. Right? You don't want to put money into a game that's not complete. Like, this is like you're just saying, like, I put $20 in for me to die to a silent axe, or I put $20 in.
That's
and
a good
I can't
point.
Even play. I can't even queue.
That's a really
Or,
good
like,
point.
Me and my friends bought the cool package. Like, we put $60 in to get four packs of Realm or whatever.
Yeah.
And we can't even queue together. Like,
Puts
like
a real
what?
bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
So instantly that you just start losing player base. So if you bring out like an incomplete product, like you're just gonna fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I may be the only one here, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think high res is probably, well, I don't think high res is as dumb as what people think they are. Like, I obviously think gamers have this immediate, like, knee-jerk reaction, like, they don't know what they're doing. I really think that there's probably a plan in place, especially with some of the changes that we've seen within their leadership this year, within 2019. We have seen improvements within this game. But I think there is a plan in place in the background that they're trying to implement. The question is whether or not it will be successful. But I understand, at least I'm reading in between the lines some for them. I think, Giant, you were right earlier when you said they really need to just make the game polish more. It needs to get out of beta. They're going to release Nintendo Switch once it's out of beta, because they can't have a game be in beta and then be in the Switch Nintendo store. Okay, so there's like certain lines that they're trying to connect. They're releasing to console, because console is where you're going to get a large amount of income, where you're going to get a large amount of players. Okay, that's going to help grow. They can hire more people. The more money they're making, the more money they can invest into the game, and then eventually maybe we'll start to see some tournaments or something along those lines where they can invest in the esports. Okay, so there's this element there where it's like, they have to see the growth first. They have to see the boom. They have to see the money signs before, and then they have to see the player base as well before people are going to start investing into the game. So I do feel like people immediately have these knee-jerk reactions like, oh, this game's dead and high-res is stupid. I'm like, they're not stupid. They've released multiple titles that have done extremely well and have been very successful. Yes, they've made some mistakes, but they're definitely not stupid. So there's a reason why they have multiple titles still in existence that have existed over, longer than 6 months. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I hope that they can achieve what they're trying to achieve, but
Agreed.
yeah. So, all right, well, let's see here. What else do we have left that we need to talk about? Oh, this was an interesting one. Is it better for players? Okay, I want to talk shift gears here a little bit because we've been talking game dev. We've been talking about what needs to happen for this to be an esport. Let's shift players here a little bit. You guys got recognized. You guys got asked by an esports organization interested in investing in this game. What tips would you have, or what suggestions would you have for other players who have the same aspirations, and would like to get noticed? Should they, like, what things should they be doing in order to help get noticed by an esports organization?
Grinding.
Yeah. Consistency. Obviously, skill level has to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously, if that esports organization wants to have any type of content creators on their team, you have to be a personable person. Obviously, have good, have that good content creation channel, whatever channel you're doing, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. I think it's just a little combination of everything, I guess. I mean, everybody wants exposure. Obviously, if you're going to be competing on that esports team, you have to have skill. You have to have a skill level.
Yeah.
They're taking you on because they expect you to win.
So be a master in your craft. Sorry, go ahead, Raisin.
Oh yeah, no. As for being like a one trick, you won't necessarily have to be a one trick.
Nope.
But I would definitely suggest having a very strong point in one or two classes.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to try to get into the esports scene, you can't be a mediocre jack of all trades in every class because you're just not good enough. Like, you won't be good enough at that point.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you can be very good in all classes. Like, example, Giant, he could literally play every class in a high level. But if that he put the time in though, see, like, if you don't have enough time in each class and you're not to a certain, like, let's say tier 1 level point, like, you won't be able to get into the esports. So I would definitely suggest like playing one or two classes. You could dabble in the other classes so that you understand them, so that you play against them better.
Yeah.
But you have to completely understand your main classes and like just getting to a high level with them first, I feel.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, to get noticed by these big esports, the opposite side of this is you have to make a name for yourself. If you're not known, you're not going to get picked up. So you gotta be in people's streams. You gotta be in the Q snipes. Show that what you got. Show that you can kill the top players. Show that you can be among them, and just become well known among the community. So that when these scouts do come to the game looking for people, they see your name. They see you doing well. So
I put that on my
being popular is a big part
application.
of it.
I put that on my application to Sanguine last week when I sent it in. I told them that I killed Gentle Giant right outside Goblin Gulch the other week in a game, and then I sent them the clip too. Yeah, I sent them the clip, and I was like, I killed Gentle Giant. I was like, sign me. If you need a sub, I'm here, bros. If you need a sub, I'm here, Bruce.
He clapped these cheeks.
Oh snap!
To be fair, he was running Ice Staff, but at the same time,
Who hasn't clapped those cheeks?
True that.
Yeah.
I've never killed Gentle.
Yeah, well,
It'll never happen.
So
You'll
do
me one.
you have to
killed
do a
Krippler.
drag stream? Showercap is asking if you have to do a drag stream in order to stand out and be noticed by an esports organization.
I mean,
part of the
I didn't
requirements?
do a drag stream. I don't think Raisin did either.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And I will never do one again.
You'd have a cool catchphrase like "suck."
1,000 subs says he will.
Exactly.
1,000 subs says he will.
Sub goal, baby. So, okay.
I can see him doing it again.
I mean, you guys answered some questions for sure. Lee, do we want to take callers? I'm like a little afraid of the troll tonight, but do we want to take callers tonight to talk with the?
Yes. Is
Yeah?
Hops still here, dude?
I don't know. I timed him out and I haven't seen him lately because he was going Monka a little bit. But
Oh
Hops,
my
if you're still
gosh.
here and want to ask a question, we'd love to hear from.
That's a Monka.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Hops.
Yeah. So, chat, is there anyone in chat that would like to ask questions to the Sanguine Esports guys? If you have legitimate questions, or semi-serious questions, we'd be interested in having you jump in. So in the meantime, you guys kind of already answered this, but you know, like, what is a good way for players? Like, okay, so let's say like I'm a player, I've been playing the game for a while, I feel like I want to be an esports player, or I want to be a streamer, or I want to do something. You guys said grind, you guys said jump into scrims, you know, like specifically, especially because there's bots, like what else can you do to like stand out? But here's an interesting thing. Sorry, I'm interrupting my question. Here's an interesting thing. I heard this the other day, that Aero actually got noticed because he was Q sniping you and Mouse, Gentle. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. And Krippler.
And Krippler. So like,
yes and no. I actually went to Giants and Mouse's channel asking who the hell this Aero guy was.
I was there for that stream.
Oh,
That was
really?
actually amazing.
So he just kept killing me, and I was like, "Yo, who the f?" And I thought it was. I was like, guys, like, who's changing your name to come and kill me? Like, really? Like, what the hell? Which one of you idiots is Aero? And it turns out that Aero was actually his person.
I actually learned about him from your stream, Krippler,
Yeah.
because you were like, I'm going to be playing some duos with this guy who's insane. He used to be an Overwatch pro. And I I was like, what the heck? This sounds...
And we crushed it. We did very well in duos. Very well. And then he left me.
Yeah, they did all right.
Then he left me.
that's super, like, that's really interesting to me, though, because obviously Aero is now well known. Again, Aero, don't get a fat head, bro. Okay, we know you got a cold, but keep it humble. But that's like... That's so interesting that it's like he got known in the community because he was
instantly.
Killing. Yeah,
I mean, his first stream, he had 68 people.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Guy turns his stream on, not the webcam. He turns his stream on, and he's got 68 people in his channel already.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
People go months.
Mouse, guys.
People go months without getting 68 people.
Don't stream snipe. It's a joke.
Not stream snipe.
Snipe.
Like legit. Like we take our time in our streams to do Q snipes.
Yeah.
Which it makes it hard for us to win these games too. It's harder for us to win Q snipe games. But anyway, when you guys come in here and stream snipe us when we're trying to do Q snipes, it just ruins the whole vibe.
Yep. And you don't become a better player. You're not going to become a better player because you're stream sniping. Yeah. And furthermore, you're not going to grow your channel because you're stream sniping. Don't think that just because you kill Giant or Raisin or Mouse or myself or Aero,
you're gonna
multiple
blow
times. Don't think you're gonna blow up and become this amazing streamer. No, like it's gonna get kind of obvious that you're stream sniping. So don't do it.
Yeah, and when the time comes when you're actually playing a real tournament setting, you're not gonna be able to just stare at someone's location unless you're at High Res Expo.
Oh my gosh, Lee! What? Wow, dude! What?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Oh my gosh, dude! So. Hey, like, we can't complain about tournaments, okay? And then be like, the one tournament you guys hosted, everybody could see the screen.
I ruined everything.
I mean, I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
I actually saw Kefri wake up, get up, walk out, and leave, and I was like, bye.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, like, let's just say one thing. Like, you can just, like, make excuses, too. Like... legitimately make excuses like they did the best they could, or well, maybe they didn't. I don't know the scenario, but there's a level of, hey, like people can see the screen, okay, so we'll have refs walk the you know, maybe that was a dream hack mistake. I don't even know if that was high res. Like that could have been a dream hack thing, you know, like I don't know, but I feel like some people were just making excuses because, you know, they wanted to win the money too.
Yeah,
know, like,
I mean the team that won had their backs to the screen the entire time. The actual crushed it and killed it. They had their backs to the screen. So.
And they were from what, like Kongu or what is it?
They were Kanga Esports.
Kanga, that's what it is. Yeah,
Paladins players.
Yeah,
Paladins the bolt staff.
Feels bad. They did use the bolt staff, bro.
A lot of people.
That was so funny.
You should have
before I got the buff. A lot of people. But hey, to be fair, I offered Giant to come out to Atlanta to win the tournament with me, and he goes, "No."
I couldn't afford it, man. Not at the time.
All right.
You offered half. You did.
I did. I did.
Good guy, Krippler, looking out for the community always.
I mean, I knew we were gonna win it. I figured he'd pay me back, but you know, we'd have like a bird Kefri incident again, you know?
Yeah, that was insane, dude. I wish that I was around for those 100Ks because I feel like the 100K and the 10Ks would have been really fun. I actually only watched one, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Realm Royale. So I wish I was around to like experience that and be involved in that progression and hope that they do bring that back. So
My
100K is
my
no
question actually, Giant.
anything.
I don't think I ever actually asked you this, Giant. But how did you get into tournaments? You were in the what? The 10Ks, one of the 10Ks, or the 100K?
I was invited to every single tournament except for
Okay.
I only there was 200Ks and I participated in one. But all
Okay,
the
so
10Ks, I was invited to every single one
By the organization?
by high res.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just because I made a name for myself, and then because I in really old Realm, I always walked around sorting people. And
don't
people-
say that, bro. Why are you saying that? Don't say that out loud.
Okay.
I gotta go, guys.
Listen, in old Realm, it was
Where's
way
Peter?
harder to do. Swords sucked in old Realm. Anyway, I went to the official Realm Royale channel, and 'cause this was like right before they were about to start doing tournaments. And one
Stream
HP, one HP was streaming,
Stream
and I was
snipe.
like, "Yo, one HP. How would I go about getting into these tournaments?" And he was just like, "I got you." And he messaged Hi-Rez, and I got a
Nice.
message from Hi-Rez, and
That's awesome.
That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Again,
I'm not
if
gonna
you don't
lie.
ask, you're not going to get it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yes,
I
good job.
remember I was sitting on the side watching. I was like, "How the hell is this giant guy in there?" And I'm not in this, dude. Like,
That's trash.
looking on the site, it's like to get invited to these tournaments, you have to place highly on the leaderboards, and at the same time be well known in the community. And I'm like, what top two duel in at the time? Never got an invite. I hated my life at the time, dude. I grinded my ass off for that.
Yeah, you did.
Dude, can I say that one thing that I love about this game, though, is the fact that the community, like, this is a double-edged sword, but the fact that the community is kind of like, at least on Twitch, or the community of streamers is kind of small. Like I've seen new people come in, but there's also an element of, like, I still want the game to grow, but I love the community, and I love the culture that surrounds this game right now. Because of the people and the personalities that are represented in it, that it's so cool that literally, like, at a point in the game, like Gentle, like you just experienced, where you literally just went into someone's stream and a streamer helped you get invited to a tournament, like, and that's the kind of culture that this game, like, embodies. Like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard, like, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And now
That's
I'm
just
here,
amazing.
And now I signed with an esports organization.
Yeah,
It all
that's
started there. So
that's nutty,
Yeah, the more
dude.
you meet the people that you're really close to in this community, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember the first thing I said to Giant in his stream too. I walked in because, like, his title was like whatever warrior in the leaderboards for solos, and I just jumped in his chat. I was like, and I forgot what time it was. It was pretty late in the day, and I was tired of grinding. I just got on, and I was like, and everyone played assassin back then on the streams.
Mhm.
Everyone was just assassin everywhere. And I got in his stream. I was like, finally, a warrior that I could watch. And then this guy's playing assassin at the time. And it was the worst thing to see. I dropped into his stream. He's like, "Oh, I play warrior all day. I'm playing assassin." And I instantly left his stream after that.
oh man.
So,
And the rest is history.
yeah, the rest is history. Well, guys, that's all I got for tonight, man. You guys have anything else you guys want to talk about before we close the podcast tonight?
Nah,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
no,
man.
Thanks. It was great thanks for having us.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for taking the time out to come. And, if you guys in chat want to go hit up Sanguine Esports on Twitter, I know I follow them, so definitely go hit up their Twitter and follow them, as well as check out, I think they have a website. Is there anywhere else that they can follow Sanguine Esports?
That's all I know of.
That's all you know of? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in a Discord.
Yeah. And do you guys want to plug any content that you guys are working on that you would like to check out?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Nah,
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Extracurriculars, non-stream related. Like, I know, Gentle, you were talking.
You're
for
working on a
while about-
YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube
Oh.
content.
Yeah, I have a YouTube guy. But yeah, it's just the same thing. Just Gentle Giant on YouTube.
Just Gentle Giant on YouTube. Feel free to post
Yeah.
anything in chat. Guys, go follow these guys on Twitch. If you're not familiar with their streams, go check it out. Definitely support them. They're here grinding and being awesome. And definitely, if you're interested in getting involved in esports, check out the Scrim Discord that's available and that we have. I know that Aero and Days, and a handful of you guys are mods in there. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link in chat. Feel free to jump into the Scrims Discord if you're interested in getting involved in a more competitive Realm Royale experience. So
Rip. I'm not a mod in that channel. Feels bad, man.
Dude, me neither. I know. So go check that out. But yeah, I appreciate everyone coming out tonight and just listening, and we're just excited for you guys as a community. I feel like we're excited for you guys in this new opportunity and hope to see you guys do extremely well in future tournaments to come. So
yeah, ditto that. It's kind of like a victory for the community because you guys all stuck it out, especially during the hardest part when people were leaving left and right. You guys were the ones that I watched all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see you guys on a team because it's like, I don't know, it's like it's a win for all.
Giant, do you want? I mean, I don't know if it's not a secret or anything, but like, I actually will not be. We're not playing as a team per se.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to so we're not contracted to play with each other. We are allowed to still play with whomever we want. So I will not be playing with Giant and Raisin and Aero.
Yeah. So
I will. I will still have my own team. Not my own team, but I will have another team that I'll be playing with.
Yes.
If the event that tournament comes out.
We can all represent Sanguine separately.
Yes, exactly.
That's cool.
Which honestly is actually really neat. And I think that's unique in and of itself, that the fact that it's like they're sponsoring you guys as individuals.
Correct. Individuals, exactly.
Yes, which is really a unique thing, that it's like, it's not just like, hey, you guys have to play together and we want you guys to play together. Like,
correct.
I think that's unique in the fact that it's like you guys continue. They're going to give you the benefits that they've offered you, but you guys aren't forced to play together if you have other people, that you gel with. So Krippler, I know you've played a lot with Runeflame. You played a lot with Mouse.
Yeah.
So if you find a team that you gel with, they want to support you in that, which is great.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's what they said in the announcement and on their website, is that they support whatever teams we play with. So
correct.
Which is dope. I mean, that's awesome.
That's
really come tourney time when I have to wipe the.
Well, I mean, you could always compete for that second place.
His mic cut out as soon as you started trash talking.
I was watching his mouth though. I followed that 100%. Hey, Sanguine, if you want a fourth string team, Monty and I are here.
Dude, you guys need
if you want fourth string, Water Boys,
I'll apply,
copy and paste stuff.
I got that. I killed Giant once. I'd send that in, dude. So,
but no, I think overall it's gonna be really exciting to see what happens, and either way, like Giant said, like we're still representing the organization individually. So that's gonna be good.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
Cool.
Well, that's our show tonight. Thanks everyone for coming out and hanging out. We just really appreciate you guys being here. So thanks.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right.
See you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure.